Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
That's right. It's a tagline still used 75 years after it was uttered on the big screen from one of the most beloved, enduring films of all time. Of course, we're talking about 8-time Oscar winner Gone with the Wind. And joining us is one of the largest collectors of Gone with the Wind memorabilia, James Tumblin. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. I love this show, and I love being in Orlando.
Absolutely. So tell us, you have an interesting story of how this collection started. Tell us how that happened.
Well, you know, it all started, I was doing research at Western Costume for a picture we were making, and there was this dress laying on the floor, and my mother always taught me to be so respectful and neat. So I went over to pick it up, and I thought, well, this is nice. And a docent walked by and said, well, don't leave it there. We're going to be throwing it away.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what a shame. So I offered to buy it, and they said, well, we'll find out what it'll cost you. And while she was gone, the jacket opened up, and there was a label that said Selznick International Scarlet. And I realized I was holding a costume that had been worn and Gone with the Wind.
No way.
Yeah, and it was wonderful. And I tried not to be too excited, because then the price would go up. So she came back, she says, well, it'll be $20.
That's it?
And that's all I...
And the rest is history.
You can't even buy a new dress for $20.
No, you can't.
So it'll be on display at the Orange County Regional History Center. So
all right, so tell us about some of the other pieces in the collection.
Well, we have props, and we have Hattie McDaniel's script that I'm so pleased to share with people.
Fabulous.
And we've got production drawings and costume drawings and scripts, and you name it, it's there. There's something for everybody.
And these little statues?
Well, these little things. Yes, this is an Oscar that was won by Vivian Leigh for Gone with the Wind.
Wow, in 1939.
I know. Hasn't it held its age well? Yes. And then, of course, this was won by Arthur Arling, who was the camera operator on Gone with the Wind. But because of unions and things, he couldn't win the Oscar himself. His boss had to accept the Oscar. But Arthur later won his own Academy Award for a film that was shot right here in Florida called The Yearling.
Very cool.
So they traveled together.
There's also historical significance, right? You mentioned Hattie McDaniel. She was the first African-American to win an Oscar for her supporting role as Mammy. So, and I mean, she got a 12-minute standing ovation when she got that, which was unheard of.
That's true.
Why do you think this movie and all of those things still resonate with people?
Well, of course, it began with a book. It was a wonderful book, a Pulitzer Prize-winning book by a female author. She had never been published before. And then, of course, David O. Selznick, who produced the film, was just fabulous. And then the cast. I mean, Clark Gable, Vivian Leigh, Hattie McDaniel. You don't get any better than that.
Absolutely not. So you can see the Gone with the Wind reel-to-reel exhibit. It's currently in Orlando, Florida now through November 30th. You can visit historycenter.org for more info.